Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go!
Now, I'd like to do this regularly, call it Ballers and do it regularly. We'll see how it goes. Ethan Ball, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing great. So, people ask me, is it hard for you to cheer for the Bombers and like wear Bomber colors? It's weird. Like, it's definitely weird. Like, I'm still not used to it, to be quite honest with you. And I've yet to see you play live, and I'll have to wait a little longer because work at the Carlotta Crestview Chrysler, I have to be there. So I'll just watch it on TV tonight. But how is it for you? Like, I'm the former Rider guy, but you grew up, being a Rider fan. How is it for you to wear Bomber stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think the moment the Bombers drafted me, obviously I was all in on the Bombers. Any team that drafts you, you're going to be grateful for the opportunity and forever be a fan of that team, I feel like. Of course, I grew up in Regina and, you raised me a Rough Rider fan. I think it's even sweeter now just knowing kind of what went on with you and some things there with that organization. It's kind of sweet justice that I got to go to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the rival, and yeah, I'm all in. I love it here. It's been awesome to be a part of such a prestigious organization, and yeah, trying to keep the ball rolling here.
And pardon the pun. And that's why it hasn't been that hard for me, just with things that went down, which I'm not going to talk about. But yeah, it's become a lot. It's become a lot easier to root for the Blue Bombers. I mean, I still got friends in the Riders. I don't wish any ill will to them until they play the Blue Bombers. So having said that, your first game was last week. What was that? What was that like to be a professional football player? Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
obviously, dream come true. Something you and I and like the family have dreamed about since I was probably 5, 6 years old. Jumping over the couch and the Ladainian Tomlinson jersey, you in the Philip Rivers jersey, throwing the ball up and down, Lake Ridge, North Regina streets. Yeah, it kind of all came together last weekend, and I got to play in my first game. It was obviously not the outcome we wanted as a team. But super special, super awesome to get to go to Toronto and play with, the guys for the first time this year. And yeah, hoping to, replicate, my performance this weekend and as a team, hopefully bounce back with a good win.
What'd you like about your game?
I thought for my first game, it was solid. I played fast for the most part, didn't think too much. At the end of the day, obviously there was some nerves going into it as, my first pro game. But once you got into the field, got a rep under my belt, it was football at the end of the day. So yeah, looking this week to do some similar things, and I think even just play faster, and I think there's less nerves going into tomorrow's game or tonight's game. Yeah, I think that it's going to be a great experience.
Did you have a pinch me moment? Was there a pinch me moment? Like I'm
I
playing with
don't,
it.
I don't, I
Like
don't think.
going down to cover a kick. Like, listen, you're one of the. Sorry for cutting you off. You're one of the rare. I can't do that a lot behind the scenes, let alone here. So, like you're one of the guys. Like when I interview young kids, it's like I want to be. I don't know. I want to be Mike Evans, or I want to be
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, or I want to be. I don't know. Pick Bosa. But you're like you went to games in a Dressler shirt. You sat with Ben Cahoon's buddy in a
Yeah.
game watching an Alouettes Rider game. I got you tickets while I was doing the sidelines. So you grew up wanting to be a CFL guy, actually. So what's it like to go down your first cover and it's Janarian Grant catching the ball and you got to tackle Janarian Grant? It's like, can you separate that or how's
Yeah.
that?
You don't think, like, honestly, you don't think about it in the moment. Like, it's cool. I went out there really early, early on before the game, a couple hours before the game, took my laps around the field like I normally do. But like I said, once the whistle blows, it's football. I think after the game on the flight home, I kind of was reflecting back and I was like, it's really cool that I finally got to do, my dream and what I've worked my whole life to do. But like I said, it's just step one. That's the first of hopefully many, and hopefully a win this weekend.
Do you have to look at your pay stub and like Winnipeg Blue Bombers football club? Like, is that kind of sunk in yet?
I mean, it all just felt natural from the beginning, honestly, from the moment I got here in training camp and just being around the guys. And it feels right. I thought throughout the draft process that Winnipeg was going to be the spot, and it ended up being the spot. So my gut feeling was kind of right. And ever since that moment, it just has felt like the right spot.
How much has it helped you to have a guy like Richie Hall there, who's a friend of mine? Not that you have any inside, like he doesn't treat you any differently, but like Richie Hall's there, senior consultant and one of the Rider all-time greats. How much does it help to have a guy like that there?
100%. I mean, he's a mastermind. Obviously a great, defensive coordinator. And yeah, like just having him there as an assistant now, he's a great guy to pick his brain, and he's always around the facility, adding his 2 cents and his input. And you always know, like Coach Richie's watching, walkthroughs and stuff to make sure you're dialed in on stuff. So yeah, he's just a great add to the staff. The whole defensive staff and staff in general has been awesome. Obviously 5 straight Grey Cups. There's some really great knowledge on this staff. So it's been a great experience so far, like I said, and Richie's just a great piece to the puzzle.
So Richie's an adopted son. So you got Richie Hall from Regina, who still lives here. You got Patrick Neufeld, Regina kid. You got Ethan Vibert, Regina kid. You got Lane Novak. You got Ethan Ball, and you had Josh Haggerty, who landed on his feet
and
in BC.
And Tanner Schmeckel.
And Tanner Schmeckel. Sorry. So you got so Haggerty's now gone, but you got Tanner Schmeckel. How cool is that to be Regina East, basically?
Yeah, it's awesome. I think. The Regina guys fit in well with the culture of this team. I feel like it's, a blue collar, hard nosed, bring your lunch pail to work type of organization. And I think like the Prairie Kids just fit in well with that, honestly. And I think that's why the team is drafted the way they drafted, in recent years. It's awesome to have guys, from Regina and guys I grew up playing with in high school and against. And it's been a cool experience to have those guys around and share some of these memories with.
What's Mike O'Shea like? Like I'm not, as the voice of the Riders, I would always poke fun at the Bombers, and I didn't like how, it drove me nuts how he would always be in the refs here. He's on the rules committee. I said nobody works the refs better than Mike O'Shea, and I still believe that. But I like that. Like, I'd like my coaches to do that. Like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I guess I was kind of envious. Or Wade Miller standing up in front of the microphone going, yeah, I can't do that to my team. And I kind of wanted my team president to do that. But what's Mike O'Shea like?
Yeah, I think you always have perceptions, right, as fans, even, when I was growing up, perceptions of different guys. And now that you're teammates with them or they're your coach, you see a whole different side that you don't see as just a person watching on TV. And Coach O'Shea's awesome. Like I think he's the ultimate players coach. I think that's why guys love him here in this town and organization. And he really takes time to coach the young guys. That's what I've noticed, at least even in, meetings. He's always, leaning over, putting his 2 cents in because he's, been around the block in terms of defense and special teams as well, not just a head coach. So yeah, I think even when you watch TV copy of games, you'll see him putting his arm around a younger guy, showing him what he could have done better on a play on special teams or whatever the situation may be. So yeah, honestly, great guy, great coach. And I think that's a huge reason why the culture is what it is and why this organization has had the success it's had.
Well, if you're on special teams, you better do a good job because you have one of the all-time greats coaching you, Mike Miller.
Yeah, I mean, most tackles of all time. So you could argue that he is the greatest teamer of all time in CFL history, at least as they started, keeping those stats whenever they did. He's a great guy because he's obviously a good coach, but he just recently finished doing what we're doing, right? So he's a guy that you can really pick his brain. He knows the techniques and the ins and outs of what you need to do on the team. So he's an awesome guy to learn from, especially as a rookie, a guy is trying to cut his teeth on special teams to get a foot in the door in the league.
Talk to me about some of the guys on the team without listen, you're not going to give me any trade secrets, but so when I left the stadium, when I was there for what the hell game was a Calgary-Winnipeg game, went to watch, you didn't play, but I walked out of the stadium and I saw Colaros jersey and I saw Jefferson jersey and I think I saw one Holm or Schoen jersey, but predominantly it was Dembski, and Oliveira. And I'm saying to myself, if there's no ratio, those guys they're not superstars in their own town. That's why the ratio is important. But what are some of the guys like? Like, what's Nick Dembski like as a teammate?
Awesome guy. Like those, that's what I said. Like the culture here is awesome. Like the guys have really, taken the younger guys under their wing and been leaders and shown us the way here throughout the first, 6 weeks of the season, I guess, or whatever it is, 8 weeks with the bye weeks. But yeah, those guys, they're awesome dudes. They're guys that you can pick their brain and you can talk to when you're in the sauna or, lifting weights in the weight room. So it's, like I said, it's a great culture. I have nothing but great things to say about all the vets on this team and the guys in the locker room.
Are you too old? Are you guys too old? Like, that's the talk. But we've been waiting, and even before you got there, we were like, when are the Bombers going to fall off? They got to fall off at some point. Are you too old here? Like, Kolaros is injured right now. Stanley Bryan isn't playing. Like, there's some injuries that are stacking up.
I think the CFL season, as we've seen in years past, is so long, and you've seen teams get it done a whole bunch of different ways. And, the whole thing is getting to the dance at the end of the year. Like we know the CFL is a long regular season. And if you can get into, a divisional playoff game, anything can happen. So, no, I think we've had a little bit of a rough stretch, no doubt, here the last couple of weeks. But like I said, the season's so long, we're hopefully going to make it right this weekend and get the ball rolling in the right direction, like I said.
Yeah, what's been going on with this team? Like the last 3 games, you got shellacked and 17 turnovers against and only 3-4. So like you're minus 14 in that category. Sorry, but that's not Winnipeg Blue Bombers football.
Yeah, and I think when you watch the film and the things we preach in practice, we're just not carrying a lot of those things over to the game right now, and we're making too many mistakes and not playing clean football, which we harp on. So I think it's really just getting back to the little things, the details, playing clean football, not turning the ball over, not taking penalties, and we'll see the tide turn in our favor here very shortly.
Do you honestly? I was going to ask you because you're like an offensive guy, and then you moved to defense, and now you're just what I like to say is the ditch digger. Like you're a special teams guy. Do you? How do you? Like tell me your mentality.
I relate it back to my hockey days. Back in Regina, I was the third, fourth line guy that stood in front of the net, had to get hacked and whacked, and I would do some hacking and whacking, and maybe take a penalty here and there, and kill off penalties, block shots. I kind of compare, and Coach Miller loves his hockey analogies. I kind of compare special teams to that too. Like it's doing the stuff that not everybody wants to do, but you need those guys on your team, and it's ultimately what makes a team in the CFL successful. Like it's a truly a three phase game in the CFL. So you need guys to do that. And I think as a Canadian, I know going in that's how you cut your teeth in the league and get your foot in the door, and hopefully down the road, you are playing on defense or on offense or whatever position you're at. But to start, that's what you got to do. You got to do the dirty work, and I love it. I love getting gritty and getting dirty. So it's awesome.
And hey, the special teams in the kicking game in the CFL or in the Canadian game in general lets a guy like you earn a job, because if it, what I mean, like guys like you get earn a job.
100%. Even that first game there in Toronto last week for me, playing on all the special teams, if you're doing that in the States, you're looking at it like you're running sprints and you're basically a fair catch, circle the guy, hopefully he drops it. If not, jog off the field. Where here, it's like you're getting a legit maybe 20 reps a game on special teams if you're playing all 4, like legit plays where you got to go down, cover a kick, try to tackle a guy. So it's fun. Like you're getting legit reps at live football, and it's not just block a guy for 2 seconds and wait for the whistle. And like you said, guys can earn a living doing it for 5 to 10 years in this league.
So you grew up being a Rider fan, and now the Bombers are there, and they're the team that ultimately has all the sellouts. What's it feel? Does it have that? I'm not going to ask you who the better fans are, because you're going to say Blue Bomber fans, but you are a Saskatchewan kid. But does it have that feel like when you used to be in the stands at Old Mosaic or Taylor Field?
Yeah, I think across the board, the CFL, as we know, has kind of lost a little bit of that. But as a kid going to Mosaic, you'd be shocked if Old Mosaic wasn't sold out, on a Saturday. You'd be like, what the hell? There's a little corner of orange there. Like, what's going on? And Winnipeg has that similar feel now where, you're expecting to sell games out. It's obviously the 9th straight sellout now, and you're walking on to Princess Auto, and it's loud, it's fun. Like people are tailgating before games. It feels like what it felt like when I was a kid, and the CFL means something here in this city. So it's an awesome time, I think, to be a Winnipeg Blue Bomber. Obviously, the success has helped in the last 5 years, but the fans here are great. The stadium is awesome, and the tailgating area around is super, super cool. So yeah, it feels like the CFL when I was a kid, and it means something.
So I don't mean no big deal, but because you have veterans on your team, is it no big deal right now being in a 3-game skid, or guys pissed off, or like how much does being a veteran team help you in something like this? You're new to it, but
yeah, obviously I'm new to it, so I can't speak on other teams or experiences. But obviously, guys are upset. Nobody wants to go on a skid. I hate when people say streak. Obviously, you do. I know you do too. But I hate when obviously nobody wants to go on a skid like this. I think it's natural in a long season. You saw what this team did last year and the start that they had and the way they bounced back. But I think being a veteran team and them having those experiences and being to those great cups, it's like, hey, we've lost a couple in a row here. We aren't playing our best football, but it's not the end of the world. Like I've said, they've seen it be done many different ways over and over. So I think it's definitely good to have that calming presence, and guys aren't overreacting. We're mad. Obviously, we want to be better, but we're not going to, hit the panic button and freak out after a couple losses in a row.
Well, it's tight, right? Calgary just got smoked by Ottawa. You guys got Toronto. The Riders got a tough one in Montreal. You win this game. I mean, you've lost the season series to Calgary. You still got 3 against Saskatchewan, so it's still very much up in the air right now.
Yeah, I mean, well, we played 6 games. We got 12 left. It's like talking to a couple of guys on the team, us rookies, we're like, before our next bye week, we got a whole college football season to fit in before, our next bye week. When you think about it, like 11 straight games, that's a full college football season. So when you look at it like that, there's so many different ways it could play out. I think you got to focus on the here and now and this week versus the Argonauts and trying to get one back versus them first before you think about any other situation. And obviously you pay attention to the league and things that are going on, but you can't worry about anybody else but yourself. And right now we're just trying to get that 4th win.
Okay, so how did you come up with that dance? You had the debut dance. They make you guys dance before your first home game ever?
First of all, I'm a terrible dancer. We all know that.
I'm better than you dancing even.
Yeah. And there was this trend going on TikTok, which actually Montana had sent to me, and then Jake Kelly and a couple of guys on the team were all doing in the locker room a couple of weeks ago.
So what is that?
I just thought, what the hell? I think they call it. It's Indonesian boat dancing. I think actually is what it's called. You can search it up. It's like a legit thing where these kids dance on the front of the boats, and it just made its way on Instagram and TikTok. And I think they call it like aura farming or something. And I just thought it would be funny to do because I didn't have to move my feet, and I didn't have to look like a complete idiot with tight hips. So that's kind of why I decided to do that.
2 more questions. Like, why didn't you do the bird dance?
Yeah, that might have been my second or third choice, I guess. Honestly, I didn't know what to do. I don't have any dances in my repertoire. So it was, I came up with that. Me and Montana went over it last night. I thought, what the hell, for it.
What was your rookie song you had to sing?
Oh, I sang "Don't Stop Believin'."
And did the guys get pumped for it?
Yeah, I thought I did a pretty good job. I don't think it was like the best one, but I don't think it was bad by any stretch of the imagination. I got a cheer and I did what I had to do. So that was that. And I'm done doing those rookie initiation things, I guess, now.
Oh, that's great. So is that it? And do you have to buy like donuts or anything for DBs or?
No, the DB room doesn't really have any initiation things. I know maybe some other, position groups do, maybe receivers and stuff. We don't really have anything. There's definitely no hazing that goes on. Everything's like all in fun and joking. So it's like the singing and the dancing for your home debut. And that's really it from what I've been told. Maybe there's something else I don't know about yet later on in the year, but that's about all.
Who's your favorite teammate right now, other than your roommate?
Joey's awesome. Excited for him to get his first start here, which is awesome. Favorite teammate? That's such a tough question. Like, you could always go with Evan Holm, Fighting Hawk brother.
But he doesn't talk much. He's the quiet guy.
He's a quiet guy, great guy, quiet guy. Jake Kelly's awesome. Kelly's awesome. And John Ryan told me, even before I really met him, but Sergio Castillo is an A1 guy. Like, he's such a good human being. He's funny to be around. Anybody on the team will tell you that he's probably their favorite teammate. So he would be a safe bet to say, he's probably up there as, being one of the top guys, number one.
Does Collaros talk to you, or does he big time you because he's the quarterback?
No, he's a great guy. Claros is a really good guy. It's one of those guys where you might have a perception on TV when you're watching as a fan, and obviously I didn't grow up liking the Bombers and stuff, but no, awesome guy. Like I said, like him and Strevler are two great dudes to sit and chat it up with in the sauna or the cold tub or hot tub. Like, just really, really good humans.
So what do you got to do to beat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and get back to over 500?
The Argonauts,
Yes,
you mean?
Argonauts, sorry, yeah. Beat the
I hope we're
Bombers.
not. I hope we're not beating the
I'm
Bombers.
so used to that. What do you got to do to beat the Argos is what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's just we don't want to beat ourselves, and I think that's kind of what we've been doing a little bit. Obviously, we've ran into some good football teams here, and they're playing good football too. But it's just getting back to doing what we do, playing clean, physical football, not turning the ball over. Maybe creating a few more turnovers, getting the ball back to our offense. And clean obviously means not taking as many penalties that we've been taking as well. So I think it's just getting back to doing those things, and we'll be just fine, and hopefully get a win here in front of a Seoul crowd.
Hey, so I'm all about promoting for the young people. I got, like, the Argos didn't have a helmet. I think one of my buddies who was down there watching you, he bought me a helmet, so that's good. But I got this Dairy Queen helmet I bought at a collectibles. This was from the 70s. Laugh if you will, but don't you think, like, wouldn't this be cool for young kids if you went to Dairy Queen and got a CFL helmet, like a Sunday and a CFL helmet?
Yeah, I mean, I wish the league would do, some more promotion stuff like that to get kids loving the game. Obviously, I love the game. Like, I loved the game as a kid because of you, but the CFL was always, my favorite thing to watch. It still is to this day. Obviously, it's different now that I'm playing, but as a kid, we watched the NFL and other leagues, but the CFL was always, the thing when I wanted to watch on Thursday, Friday night after school. It was like get my little yellow football and throw it around the living room, and I wanted to watch the Riders or the Stampeders and the Bombers. Like, I don't know. I wish and I hope we can get back to that, at the grassroots level. And like even Nick Dembski just had a kids sport camp, and that was awesome seeing all those kids out there with some of the guys. So just doing those things at the grassroots level. And I think it's happening here in Winnipeg, and hopefully we can do that across the league to get, the youth involved and interested in the game.
I don't know if I'm going to like watching you. You're wearing those hockey jerseys tonight, aren't you?
I think we're wearing the W jerseys. They're not my favorite either. They look like a hockey jersey, but the all blue is nice. The helmet is classic. The gold bucket.
Yeah.
But can't really complain. Beggars can't be choosers.
Do you take pride in, like, how you dress? Like, do you make sure you match everything up?
Yeah, I'm not a huge swag guy. I never have been. Like, I don't go over the top of that stuff. But yeah, I like my cleats to match my gloves, and nothing over the top. But I like to match and look uniform. But never been a huge swag guy.
I don't know. Did you listen to it the last game? Or are you going to listen to this game like Hulkster? His theme song when he come out? The old Hulkster?
So the last game I didn't. I was more on my Ozzy Osbourne kind of, last week, listening to some Black Sabbath and Ozzy. So yeah, maybe it'll be a little bit of Hulkster, this week before the game, throwing it back to him. But last week was Ozzy. Maybe this week will be Hulkster. And yeah, a couple of legends in the last week gone.
Oh, that sucks, eh? That's terrible, man. Oh, speaking of legends, that's what I was going to ask you. Last question. So I used to, it's funny how life goes. Like, I used to joke about the Bombers and Winnipeg because I was the voice of the Riders, and it was all in good fun. It's called sports entertainment, okay? Like, listen, do I think Regina is better than Winnipeg? No. Do I think Winnipeg's better than Regina? Well, they've got an NHL team. I think Winnipeggers hate it because we say it's a big Regina, and Regina, we don't like Winnipeg, just whatever. It's a rivalry. But
we're similar, so we butt heads. That's exactly what it is.
Right. They're just 4 times bigger. But I used to say, I can't believe they let somebody wear Don Narcise's number 80. I can't believe they let somebody wear Ray Elgaard's number 81. And You were 15 in training camp, but they took the number away from you because they want to save it for a quarterback. I think the quarterback they want to save it for, and they're not saying, is Elgersma if he gets cut by Green Bay because that's his number. But whatever, it's neither here nor there. But you got number 29, which is Leo Lewis's number. Like, Leo Lewis is on the Ring of Honor. So, like, that's kind of coming back to me. So, like, do you even think about that? You're wearing Leo Lewis's number.
Well, I think it's funny because you and I both kind of hated the number 0 and 00. And then I went to Calgary and ended up wearing 0. And I didn't mind it, but it was kind of funny because we hated that. And then, yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of chose 29. You know, they said I couldn't wear 15 anymore after training camp. And there was like maybe, I don't know, like 23 or 28 or something available, and 29.
39, 39.
Yeah, and I just happened to like 29 the best. And yeah, obviously Leo Lewis is a legend here in the city. So hopefully I can put on and do a decent job in that number. And yeah, it's obviously an honor to wear a jersey number, for a guy that was so good for this organization for so long.
Okay, so tonight when you score a touchdown and scoop up a fumble after a big hit, or you dislodge the ball and somebody else scoops it up, and they have the camera on you on the sidelines, you say, "Hi, Dad, I love you." Make sure you say that. "Hi, Dad, how you doing?" Okay, make sure you do that, right?
I got you. That's right. I got you.
And do another favor for me. Turn around and say hi to my buddy Luke Wilson.
Yeah, he'll be the first guy.
Right.
Right.
Hey, Ethan, thanks, man, for your time. Congratulations. And yeah, we'll have to do this again. I like it.
Yeah, no problem. Love you.